Well, hey everyone, it is Tuesday, the something-teenth, 14th, 15th, something like that. And this is going to be my last update before my market on Saturday. And I have just been connecting all the dots. So I got my payment method sign printed. I finished printing out my business cards and I added a care instruction sheet to the little package, which also includes the safety eye warning for those few items that don't actually have a price tag on it. I got everything priced and into square. I made the body and the Santa hat for the Grinch head that we did in the how to do his not so scary face video. I completed an order that I've been sitting on for a couple of months because she didn't need it until this coming weekend. I already gave her the baby manatee, and she needed an astronaut and then a small octopus, and this was the size that she picked, but this is for a little one. So the one that I had the safety eyes in it. So this one, we gave it some little felt eyes. And these are like 1/2-inch eyes. So I did that and finished the Grinch. He's all priced and ready to go. And then I was watching Tracy from Travel Crochet, her latest video. She just did a market. She got the coolest tables that attach to her canopy, tent, whatever it's called, but they attach to the poles, and they're like narrow tables that just go along the edge. And I'm like, those are really cool. Now I don't have a canopy. I don't have a need for it yet, but I'll have to find out from her where she got those tables from, because those are really cool. If you wanted to add extra tables, that would be the way to do it. But anyway, she was talking about at her market, and this was her second one, that she had 2 custom orders. And one of the custom orders was for a poop emoji. And I thought, well, you know, that's actually a pretty good idea, because I think it would be popular with, like, say, the 10 and under age group, you know, the ones that are just kind of like gross little kids. So she shared the pattern, and so I made a couple of poop emojis. Now I showed them to Jenna, and she knew right away what it was. And she's like, I'm so disappointed in you. She doesn't like them. I show it to John. And he's like, he's so bad at guessing what these things are. He's like, a Hershey kiss? And I'm like, no, if it was a Hershey kiss, you'd only see that top part. And I forget what else he called it. And finally, I had to tell him, like, he is really bad at guessing what these things are. Jenna is like spot on every single time. I don't think I've had one that she hasn't been able to tell what it is. But him, he's really, really bad at it. So then I was watching, and I'm going to have to type this over the screen because, it's Cotton something. And she was talking about how she's got 3 markets in a week. And I'm like, girl, you are super brave. 3 in a week. I would be so stressed out and in panic mode, it wouldn't even be funny. But she said she makes these little critters that they're like one of her best sellers, and it's a free pattern from Instagram. And she shared that pattern. And I'm like, I still want something, you know, for the littles. The littles that they can just put in their hands. I mean, I have the little octopus, and I made some that don't have the safety eyes. But I wanted something different, you know, something else for them to choose from. So I went over and I checked out this pattern on Instagram and I said, okay, well, let me try to make one. Well, not thinking that I don't want to use safety eyes, I did the first one and I went with the little mallard, and these are like really small. Now, I have big hands, but these are really small. Like, small. And this is the mallard, and it came out so cool looking. I love it with the little eyes. Now, I'm not so sure about this part. So the other ones that I made, I did not put the little thing on top. That was a little much. But I showed Jenna, and she's like, oh, that's so cute. And she also mentioned she'd leave that part off of the pattern. And I said, do you know what it is? And she's like, it's a duck. It's a mallard duck. I show it to John. He called it a rooster. He called it an owl. He called it everything but a duck. So that was the first one. And then I'm like, well, these are cute. I like them. I'm like, I can turn into a keychain. So I made, she has 4 different versions. And she tells you in her free pattern, she tells you how to do the mallard. And then you just have to look at the picture and like do the other colors on your own. So I did 2 mallards without the safety eyes. And I did 2, I believe these are supposed to be chickens. She puts the red comb on top. I didn't put a comb on it. 2 of the white ones. And I'm pretty sure these are supposed to be ducks. So I did 2 yellow ducks. Now you can tell this one was the first one that I did the beak on. And I'm probably going to take it off and do it over because I think it looks much nicer with it being smaller than really big and wide like that. So 2 yellow. And then her other one is like a eagle, a bald eagle. It's not bald, but an eagle. So I tried one of those. And again, I don't really care for the top part. I think it'd be a little cuter without it. But so the little eagle. And then I said, you know, let me play with some more. I'm just going to pick my own colors. I did 2 in red, kind of like a cardinal. And again, I like the smaller beak better than the wider beak. And then I did 2 in blue, kind of like a blue jay. And then I did one other, and I haven't made the second one yet, because I'm like, okay, I'm getting tired. I don't want to do this anymore today. But this one, I did them in pigeon colors. Dark gray on top. I believe this color is peacock, and then the light gray on the bottom. And it was just playing with the colors, but so I'll do a few more, maybe. Not sure if I'll do it this week or not, because I have, oh gosh, I have a lot. Hold on. The little poop emojis and this Grinch is included in these numbers, but all these little birds are not included. So what I have to take to my market with me is like insane. I guess that's what happens when you have like 3 months to prepare. I have 191 plushies, not counting these little birds. Let's see, including the little birds, 3, 6, 9. That's 203 plushies, 54 keychains, and if I add a keychain to this one, that's 55 keychains. And that is the number of plushies that I have. Just the last time I got a count, it was like 131, and I thought that was a lot. And then I started working on those harder, more time-consuming patterns like the deer and the sloth and the snowman and the cat and the monkeys, which when I was doing the pricing last night and I'm seeing those and I'm thinking about some of the other ones that I have, those are so much nicer. They're so much more detailed. I hope that they sell. I mean, I did have to put a little bit higher of a price sticker on them because they did take more time, but they're nice. They're not, you know, like a little cutesy like this or like this. Get down. No, 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 no. Oh. He just jumped up in that cabinet that is full of glass. But as I was saying, you know, it's not little easy cutesy things like this. They took time. And of course, the more you do a pattern, the easier it is because you start to know what comes next and you don't have to keep referring back to the pattern all the time. So, like, I've made enough of these. If I was to sit down again today, I wouldn't have to look at the pattern. Now, if I went back to it in a few days, I'd probably have to look at the pattern again just to refresh my memory because we have done so many. The only things left that I need to do, there are 3 things. I need to get a frame of some sort to put my payment method sign in. I need to get the lint roller. Rollers, will go plural with that. You know, because you're not going to get much on the things from Dollar Tree. And I need to get cash for my bank. Other than that, I think I am all set. Unless something else pops into my mind between now and Friday, because Friday is setup day, Saturday is market day, and then, oh my gosh, I have a story. I joined this Facebook group that is for crafters and vendors and such in Central Florida area, which I joined it back in, I want to say August, and I am not an avid Facebook user. I stopped using Facebook like 6 years ago with all the political BS that was all over it. I just couldn't take it anymore, so I stopped using it. I didn't delete my account or anything, and I check every now and then, and I'll look at my son's page, you know, and a couple of other friends, and that's about it. I don't comment or anything like that. But in August, I'm pretty sure it was August, I joined this group that's for crafters and vendors in the Central Florida area, and it's supposed to help you find craft markets. Now, of course, you read all the comments in these things, and they talk about scammers and this person's a scam. You know, somebody makes a legitimate post and somebody else is trying to get them to send them the money for it. And so I was very hesitant about doing anything that was found on Facebook. So I checked again the other day, and there was a couple of postings that I was interested in for the markets. Now, had I seen these postings, say a month ago, I probably would have had a better chance. But, so I contacted 3, you know, told them that I would be interested, and all 3 of them were for the same day, December 9th. One of them was a 2-day, 9th and 10th. So I sent them messages, direct messages, that I would be interested in getting information on their market. So the first one that contacted me back was more local to me. Still, it would be probably a 30-minute drive for me. And it was the 2-day one. It was like $50 for both days. And I think it was 5 hours each day. And then on the Sunday, they were going to have a Santa Claus. So I contact them and they say, oh, we'd love to have you. So they asked me what I sold. So I told them what I sold. And then they messaged me back and they say, Can we see pictures of that? Because we already have somebody that sells origami plushies. And I'm like, okay, they have paper plushies? Origami? I'm like, I sell amigurumi. So I sent them pictures, and that was the last I heard from them. They didn't even bother to have the decency to say, I'm sorry, we already have someone. We only allow one vendor of each type of craft. You know, whatever. But nothing. I heard absolutely nothing back from them. Toby, stop shaking the table. The second one was for a high school, which would have been about an hour south of me. And like I said before, you know, it's 45 minutes to go shopping anywhere. What's another 15, 20 minutes? You know, what? So I inquired about that, and I heard absolutely nothing back. So then I inquired on a third one, which is about an hour and 15 minutes north of me, and filled out their little, they give you a Google Doc to fill out for like an application. They ask you what you sell. They didn't require pictures or anything like that. And then within an hour or two, I got message back. They'd love to have me. They emailed me a link that I could pay for the booth. So they send me the link to pay. And it's $60 for a 4-hour market, which compared to some of the other fees that I've heard people mention, $60 isn't bad. 4 hours seems a little short to me, but okay. And then the like paranoia of, oh, what if this is a Facebook scam sets in? So I talked to John about it, and I tried to do a little bit of research, and it looks like that it's a legitimate business that's actually doing this. And they have a list of vendors that are supposedly going to be there. So I bit the bullet, and I went ahead and paid the $60 fee. Now, I don't have to have a canopy or anything like that, because they have like a big covered pavilion, and you could, it's $60 for a covered or $50 for non-covered if you have your own tent. Well, it's cheaper for me to pay them $10 than it is to spend a couple of $100 on one of those tent things. So I am now signed up for another market on December 9th. So depending on how it goes this Saturday, it's going to depend on how much I have to make. So anything, I think, other than these little birdies, these little guys, other than those, anything else that I might make this week is going to be put in a different area going for the December 9th market, because I think what I have is more than enough for this market. Because if I was to sell everything, I would sit down and cry, because I'd be starting all over from scratch for December 9th. And now the odds of selling everything are slim to none, so I'm not really worried about it. But if it did happen, I would cry. I would definitely cry. All right, so short and brief, I just wanted to touch base, let you know how things were going. And I'm still all in one piece. I haven't like had a stroke or a heart attack out of all this stress that I have put on myself, this unnecessary stress that I have put on myself, trying to get ready for this. I guess in some ways I kind of look at myself as a perfectionist, kind of, and I feel like I can make this and give this to you as a gift, but I can make this, and is it good enough that somebody would want to pay money for it? That's just that self-doubt. I know they're good enough for somebody to want to pay money for it, but it's just self-doubt. Once I get past this first one, everything will be all hunky-dory. So the next time that you see me, it's going to be the actual market update, so you can see how good or bad that I did. Unless, of course, you still want to hang out with me, you can click on this video right over here.